Hey, welcome back to the New Garage. Thanks for joining me. Today we'll be working on the 2001 F-350. We're going to be focusing on patching some rust and getting these bedsides ready for paint. So let's get started. Well, it's a little hard to see. I'm not sure if you can tell, but there's actually some rust right here. Just a tiny bit. So we're going to be cutting that out, patching in a new piece of metal. The rest of it on this side is pretty much okay. It has been covered with like a roll-on bed liner, I think. So we're going to be sanding all that off too. It's not going to be perfect, right? It's not going to be pristine. This truck has almost 300,000 miles. So we're going to use these patch panels I ordered up, and they're a pretty good fit. I'm not going to use the whole thing, obviously. Driver's side is much worse. There's quite a bit of holes here. So this one, I think we might do a little one here and then one big one here. I'm not sure yet, but we got a crease in here. And this is all somehow rippled. I don't understand how this happens. It's got like a wave to it. Like maybe it got smashed this way, but I don't know. We'll see how far we get. I think I'm going to focus on one side at a time. I don't want to get overwhelmed. You can see this thing is taking up my whole garage right now. Looks like it might be a little tall here. I'll put the top. That kind of sucks. I wonder if I'm gonna have to trim that, so that might help there. Pretty close though. Well, how you like them apples? I trimmed a little bit up here, and it's not bad. All the planes are in the right place. Everything's flat. What I could have done better is stuff like this. Just got a little careless. Same thing up here. I'll be able to fill that with the welder, but it's extra work and extra grinding. So yeah, pretty happy with that. Just about ready to weld here, and there's two things I wanted to show you. First thing I'm doing, I'm matching up this arc with this line so I can make sure that visually is consistent. And yes, this is close and pretty good. This is all pretty good, but there's a couple things that aren't right now. The first is right there. You can kind of see this point is much lower than that other point. And that's okay, because what I'm gonna do, this line is much more important. So I'm gonna line everything up with that, and then I'll weld right to this point, and then I can push up on that flange and bend it up to match the one that's there. So I'm not gonna worry about that for right now. I'm just gonna get the face looking good. The other one is right there. You can see, I mean, this is a cheap, made in China kind of piece, and it's not from Ford or professional body supply or anything like that. So you can see the flange is a different width here, which is kind of a bummer, but once I get this all welded together, I'll probably just cut like a taper right from here down to there. So it's a 1/4 inch here and nothing down here. And that way it'll transition more gradually, won't be so obvious. But pretty ugly. I do think that, you know, it would be easier to do this with finesse if I had a gas shielded welder instead of a flux core welder. There's just quite a bit of spatter, you know, and it gets difficult to get that perfect little gentle kiss of heat. Anyway, a couple of tack welds here broke loose, and you can see, I don't know if the fender came out or the patch went in, but right here it doesn't line up anymore. So I'm gonna just zip these tacks and then push this fender in so that it lines up better. I'm a little anxious about the corners. You can see how much I had to build material up because, you know, that big hole was there. So, but like I said, we're gonna fill this anyway, right? So a great craftsman, a great body man wouldn't even need to use filler here, but obviously I will. Anyway, I'm having fun. Okay, confession time. Filler is not awesome, right? Like I said, a good body man could do this without filler, and so I want to show you the difference here. Like right here, that's kind of ideal. Like the surfaces are flush, it's pretty evenly filled, the gap with welds, so there's almost nothing there to touch up. Like some of these tiny things would be filled with the primer, you know, some of these microscopic things. So like from here to here, I don't need filler. But because I'm a knucklehead, you can see right here, there's a ridge, right? And so that would need filler. That won't show up. And so I'm not gonna, you know, I'm not gonna throw on a 1/2 inch thick layer like some yahoos you see. Well, they'll just fill, you know, like a huge dent, right? Like something like this. They'll just fill a huge dent with filler, and that's not gonna last. It's gonna crack. It's, you know, it's just not gonna work. So my philosophy here is I'm gonna aim for this as much as I can. And as I learn how to do body work better and better, you know, I should get more of that. For now, I'll cover up the fact that I'm not good at this with filler. And, you know, that's okay. So I do have a little bit more welding on these flanges here. I see right there, I can actually see through it. So I'm gonna fill that in. But a lot of this, like this section, is basically ready, you know, for primer. But I'm gonna have to fill all this. So, yeah, progress, right? Anyway, just wanted to show you some of the materials I'm gonna be using here. So I'm gonna strip this down, and there's a couple tools I have been using so far. I used a grinder and a cutoff wheel, a flappy disc, and now I have one of these suckers. This is gonna clean and degrease the metal, get the oil from my hands, and you know, there's a lot of crud under here in terms of the original primer and paint. So this will take that off. And I got a tack cloth to wipe it down to get all the dirt and stuff off. And then this is our filler that I'm going to use. And this mixes up. There's the bonding material in here and a hardener tube up in here. And then it only takes 15 minutes to set up. So we'll put that on and we'll sand it down and get it pretty close. And then we'll be working towards primer, right? So same idea here. This is a high build primer, which means just what it sounds like. It fills imperfections and, you know, builds up. So that's nice. And then this is sandable, so I'll be doing that too. But I don't think we're gonna get to this point in the video, and we'll probably just get through the fill. and then I'm going to do a part 2 where I show you the paint. The other thing, well, this is a sneak peek, but this is a new product for me here. So this is factory matched aerosol cans. See the color on top? Never used these before, but I want to give it a go. And, you know, it's supposed to give pretty good results. So that'll be the long-term plan, the part 2 of this repair. But let me get this all stripped down and then we'll carry on. I think that's where we're going to leave this video. Got this whole thing sanded down, got all the bed liner off. That took about 4 hours and I'm exhausted. But, you know, it's down to a good state now. We still have some of the original primer left on there, and that's fine. I'm just going to knock this down and start from here. So the next steps are going to be remove the bumper so I can get to this part back here. And I'm going to bring this all, I'm going to sand all this just by hand to around 200 grit, something like that, to give the primer a good surface to work with. And we're going to be filling this with the body filler, sanding the body filler, and cleaning everything. So anyway, lots of work left to do, but just going to be done for now. So anyway, thanks for watching, and make sure you find part 2. Thanks.